Bluehost or GoDaddy? Which one is better? More importantly, which one is better for your needs? In this video, I'm going to put them both to the test and compare them side by side to see who wins. The 5 categories I will be comparing them on are: 1. Pricing. I will determine who has the best price and what is included in those pricing plans. 2. Setup and ease of use. I will show you who has a more intuitive user interface and who makes it easier to set up and manage your website. 3. Speed and uptime performance. I will test which hosting provider is faster and more reliable. 4. Support. I will ask questions from their customer support team to determine who is more responsive and helpful. And lastly, the 5th one is features. I will compare the features of these 2 hosting providers to determine who has more and better features overall. And at the end of this video, I will give you a very special offer if you decide to pick up Bluehost or GoDaddy through my link below. I will give you my 6-figure blogger course for free as a bonus and a way of saying thank you for supporting my channel. Now let's get straight into this video. Pricing options. To make it fair, we are just going to compare their normal price with no extra special discount. I have done individual reviews on each hosting provider, which I will leave in the description, where you can purchase it at an extra discount once you have decided which hosting provider is right for you. Let's compare the cheapest plans for each hosting providers first. This one is going to be really close. Bluehost basic plan for 3 years costs $2.95 per month, while GoDaddy's economy plan will set you back $4.50 per month. This means that Bluehost is 34% cheaper. Now if we compare their 1-year plans, it's a different story. Bluehost will cost $4.95 per month, while GoDaddy is still $4.50. So now the tables have turned and GoDaddy is cheaper by 9%. So I would say Bluehost just beat out GoDaddy for the cheapest plans. Now what about if you're more advanced and want their most expensive plans? I'll compare that for you now. Things get more interesting here, where Bluehost's top plan is 7% cheaper than GoDaddy for 3 years, but for 1 year, GoDaddy is now cheaper by 21%. So overall, you can see that the pricing comparison is super tight. Both hosting companies win on certain categories, and this is probably the closest price comparison test out of all the hosting providers I've done so far. I would have to declare the winner of the pricing category to be Bluehost and give them the first point, as their percentage wins are bigger than GoDaddy. Now that you know the percentage price difference, you can watch my next categories and see who offers better features and who has better performance, as the pricing factor here is pretty much the same and won't be the determining factor on which hosting providers you choose. After purchase setup and ease of use. Now let's go through and assess which hosting provider is actually easier to set up and use. Bluehost has a clean looking interface and is easy to navigate through to different sections on their back end. I just have a minor issue with them in that they tend to hide some free features and easily present the paid ones instead. Like for the free email account, if you navigate to the email and office tab, you won't find the free option to create emails. Instead, you would have to navigate to the advanced section and create your free email account from their cPanel that way. Now GoDaddy doesn't do this because they don't have a custom user interface like Bluehost, which means that they are not as user friendly. GoDaddy also has a lot of upsells on their dashboard with no useful shortcut buttons or options to build out and manage your websites like Bluehost does. Moving on to the WordPress installation, both hosting providers give you the option for the custom one-click WordPress installation. However, I found Bluehost to be slightly easier and quicker to do the install, as they have a nicer user interface when doing the installation, as opposed to GoDaddy's plain cPanel. Overall, this category was fairly easy to pick the winner for. I'm definitely giving the point to Bluehost here. Their custom interface is much better than GoDaddy's standard cPanel interface, and it is also easier to install and manage your WordPress website on Bluehost. Speed and uptime performance tests. First, let's start with a comparison of the speed performance test. From their initial installation, my test results with GTmetrix show Bluehost to have a page load speed of 1.5 seconds, while GoDaddy speed was 2.1 seconds, meaning Bluehost is 29% faster right off the gate. Next, I made sure to compare apples with apples by installing the same speed and image optimizer plugins and putting Cloudflare on both accounts to optimize it even further. My test results show Bluehost to have a page load speed now of 3.4 seconds on GTmetrix, while GoDaddy's speed was 3.3 seconds. This means GoDaddy is 3% faster than Bluehost now. Bluehost only has one server location, which is in the United States, but GoDaddy has 3 server locations, which are in North America, Europe, and Asia. So if your business is located outside of the United States, and most of your website visitors are from other countries, then GoDaddy should provide a faster page load speed, which will provide your customers with a better user experience. Now, if you want more details on my tests, or just want more in-depth review of Bluehost or GoDaddy, you can check out the link in my description for that. The next thing we will compare is their uptime. Bluehost had a perfect 100% uptime, while GoDaddy managed to produce a decent result of 99.977%, which still passed my minimum standard of 99.95%. Overall, this was also really hard to score, but I gave the first close point to Bluehost for pricing, so I will have to give this one to GoDaddy. Most things were too close to call, like the page load speed, but I think the advantage of having server locations outside of the USA would suit more users, so I will have to give the point to GoDaddy here. Do you like the level of detail I'm providing in my comparison so far? If so, make sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on quality content like this that I release every single week. Support. With regards to Bluehost's customer support response time, their overall average over peak and off-peak periods was lightning quick at just 30 seconds. The same cannot be said for GoDaddy, where their response time was around 9 minutes on average, which means they don't even pass my 5-minute minimum standard. Now, in terms of staff knowledge and helpfulness, this was also a clear win for Bluehost. For example, when I told both companies that I had a virus on my website and asked them to send me a malware report, Bluehost was able to do this for me immediately in around 10 minutes, but GoDaddy were not willing to help me at all. They kept trying to upsell me to buy their virus protection product instead. Another example here was installing the SSL certificate in Cloudflare. Bluehost immediately accepted the challenge and took on the task and completed it for me without me having to touch my computer, while GoDaddy, on the other hand, would not do anything for me and kept telling me that Cloudflare is not integrated with them, so they cannot do anything about it. This shows a clear difference on how both their support teams work. So based on this, I would have to declare the overall winner in the customer support department to be Bluehost by a long shot and give them another point. Here's a quick question for you. Who are you liking more so far? Bluehost or GoDaddy? And why? Let me know in the comment section below. Features. Now, in terms of features, this one would have to be an easy win for Bluehost, as they have all the features GoDaddy offer and so much more. The biggest and most important feature which is critical for your website and is missing for GoDaddy but not with Bluehost is the automatic daily backups. Bluehost provides daily backup for your website for free on their more expensive plans. This is standard nowadays, and I believe every hosting provider should have one, so it's really disappointing to know that GoDaddy has not included this feature at all. Bluehost also offer free SSL certificates on all their plans, whereas GoDaddy only provides this basic feature on their highest plan. This is another one of those standard features that I believe every hosting provider should be offering and not try and upsell you on it later. Overall, this one is a no-brainer again. Bluehost gets my point easily for the features section. Recommendation. So after comparing these two hosting providers over 5 categories, Bluehost was the clear winner. They won 4 categories while GoDaddy only won 1. I don't think I can recommend GoDaddy over Bluehost in any situation. They may be slightly better in website speed, but 0.1 seconds difference is just not enough for the subpar result of all the other features. Bluehost excels in their customer service and provide extra features compared to GoDaddy, so it could definitely be a suitable option for beginners. I still think though there are better options out there over these two hosting providers, and I'll let you know my pick at the end of the video. This is a quick note regarding my bonus offer to you. If you decide to pick up Bluehost or GoDaddy through my link, just send me your receipt to bonus@dotcomdollar.com and I'll send you access to my bonus course right away. It's that easy. So now that you have decided on your WordPress hosting provider, it's time to go and fully build out your website. And this next video will help guide you through all of that step by step. But if you're still undecided on the hosting provider because you don't like either of these options, then I suggest you check out this review that I've done, which is my #1 recommended hosting provider that I also use myself. So check it out and I'll see you in the next videos.